We are Scarborough.
We are Oshawa.
We are Markham.
We are Ajax.
We are Whitby.
We are Mississauga.
We are Etobicoke.
We are Oakville.
We are Richmond Hill.
We are Pickering.
We are Vancouver.
We are Winnipeg.
We are Halifax.
We are Edmonton.
We are Calgary.
We are Montreal.
We are Toronto.
We are Canada.
We are the Raptors.
Probably the biggest personality on the court for the Toronto Raptors is Kyle Lowry. And he has been phenomenal for the Raptors. And I think all of us have talked about this so many times about, who's a guy that you can't live without. And I think most of us come back to Kyle Lowry from an offensive standpoint, Leo, but then also from a defensive standpoint.
I mean, his defense, remember coming into this season, the defense was a knock. He gambles, he takes chances, and he's done such a good job of keeping his man in front of him, taking the charges. This guy could, do a clinic on taking charges. He's been amazing in that regard. And then offensively, he's just had a will to have this team win. Whatever it takes. If it's distributing the ball, taking a three-point shot, drive into the basket, he's doing everything. And it really has been, an unbelievable season for him.
Yeah, he's got some of that prickly attitude that you like. A guy who kind of rubs people the wrong way at times. But having said that, he's matured in leaps and bounds this year. Kyle, to me, was a guy who you never questioned his talent. You questioned his ability to stay in shape, his ability to stay healthy. But at the end of the day, as a lead guy, you've got to make a decision. And Kyle, to me, is coming into that age where life comes together. He understands as a professional what he's got to be in order to make the next move in his career. And it couldn't have come at a better time for the Raptors. And I think the fact that he's been so consistent, we talk about DeMar, we talk about the addition of the guys from Sacramento, but without Kyle, this team is not where they are.
I agree.
He's been absolutely unbelievably consistent, and that's the key. He hasn't had those dips. He's been consistent all season long.
I give Dwayne Casey a lot of credit because, Kyle Lowry, again, I know a lot of his coaches that he's played for in the past, as we all do. And, I think Kyle's matured a lot, and I give Dwayne a lot of credit where he's given him a little bit more leeway and he's shown him a lot more respect. I think that relationship is critical. Head coach and a quarterback and in football, a head coach and a point guard in basketball, that's vital. You got to have that. And if you don't have that, your team is going to have a difficult time winning. And I think the relationship between those two, credit to both of them, and particularly Coach Casey. There's one guy I want to mention that we really haven't mentioned him at all, And that I think is going to be incredibly important, and that's Amir Johnson. And I think he's going to be a critical piece because when he feels good, when he's got his legs and he's got bounce in his game, he makes them a next level team because he's a tremendous finisher on screen and roll. He can defend on the perimeter, and they're going to really need him to play at a high level. And I think in the playoffs, having that day off between games hopefully helps him.
Help me up, Raptor. Help me up. Help me up. All right.
This is the 4th year that we've done I Roll with Amir. Started 4 years ago, so this is the 4th one, part 4. First year we took him to Ruth Chris Steakhouse of the game. Second year we took him to 11, and then last year Real Sports. So this year he wants to do something different, switch it up. So he's like, yo, we've been to medieval times in LA a few times. Let's take him to dinner.
Hello, everyone. Hey. Hey. I just want to say I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I see some familiar faces in the crowd. I've been to a couple of my I Roll with Amir events, but I just want to thank you guys, and this is just a token of my appreciation for some of the greatest fans we have from the Raptors organization. I know you guys are excited about the playoffs. So we're definitely going to be ready for that, and in the meantime, let's go eat, let's go have some fun, and enjoy our time here. Thank you, guys. Yeah. How you doing, sir?
You? How are you feeling?
I'm good. I'm feeling great. How you feeling? You feeling good?
Yeah.
Right on.
Thanks for everything.
You're welcome. How you doing, sir?
All right, perfect.
All right. You're welcome. No problem, sir. Yes, yes, sir. Yes. Big Ryan, Big Ryan. I like the shirts, man. Those, I need one, man. Those
Did you
are
see my little guy?
those. Yes, yes. Those are dope. How you doing, sir? Good to see you, brothers. All right. Big smile. Liking the jersey, man. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate you guys. Yes, sir. Good to see you, big homie. What's happening, man? Appreciate you guys, man, coming through. Yes.
Appreciate you leading the team to playoffs.
Yes, sir. Big things.
It started off, he just one morning he woke up like, hey, I'm gonna go to Ruth Chris today and I'm gonna tweet out whoever comes to Ruth Chris, I'm paying for it. And I was like, whoa, like, slow down, because we had to structure it a little bit, but it was real good because, like I always tell people, there are a lot of Raptor fans, there are a lot of, fans in general of basketball, but these fans are special because they're actually his fans. And they tweet him all year, they give him encouragement when he's injured, or, he had a good game, or, if he has a bad game, they always, support him throughout everything. So that's why it was really important to him, because he's like, I want to give something back to my personal fans. So.
Yeah, that's dope, ain't it? That is dope, right?
Look over here.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. One more, guys.
Yep. You set the party off with that. You did. You did his thing with that. I should have worn mine, man. We're here. That's dope, man. I really like the suit, so appreciate you, man. We are here at Medieval Times, and the fans arrived, and they're definitely excited. I'm excited. They're getting hyped right now. I just got knighted right now, so I'm considered a knight.
Yes, go forth as our newest and tallest knight of the realm, hip hip.
I was looking for my sword, but they didn't have me a sword yet. Maybe later. And it's just good times. Something that hype the fans getting ready for the playoffs. Whoa, whoa! Whoa, whoa! Whoa, whoa! You see a player! You see a player! No! Woo! I see you. You see a player. Let's go, Black. Let's go, Black. The idea came to me, why not, get our fans here, and it'll definitely bring on a good show and bring a lot of families out, and they can bring their kids out, and this place looks a lot smaller now, when I
It feels smaller.
It feels smaller now, when I was a kid, it was definitely a lot bigger, but it's a pretty dope place, as you can see around, and I think we'll have fun.
Puts on a good show, man. It's all from his heart, out his pocket, and that's the good thing about it. He does it because he wants to, not because anybody's telling him to or anything like that. Well, Amir, he's been in the league for 9 years. He did 4 years down in Detroit, and when he came here, this was his first time to ever really get his minutes and play, and the city embraced him from day one. So he always feels like, nothing against Detroit, but he just feels like here is his home where he, basically came into and, got his name on the map.
It's big, especially getting our fans involved. I usually tell them that they're a big part of this team. They're the reason why we do it. They make our team. And, not only that we do it for them, we do it for ourselves and the organization. So it's huge. It's just something that to get my mind off. Like I said, been injured. But I'm definitely been working and I'm gonna come back strong.
Raptors' penultimate game of the season. Home game tonight. They end the season Wednesday against the New York Knicks, then off to the postseason, and a lot of different variables. Who they will play, who knows right now. Tonight, though, is about these great fans here at the Air Canada Centre. Been with this team through many, many years of hardship. They're going to the postseason, and a special gift right now for the fans of the Toronto Raptors.
Hey, Raptor fans, would you please welcome DeMar DeRozan to center court to say a few words on behalf of the Toronto Raptors to thank you for your support all season. DeMar.
On behalf of the organization and my teammates, we want to thank you guys for the support and the loyalty throughout the whole season. And I want you guys to help us unveil a banner for the division champs. So on 3, could you help us count down? 3, 2, 1.
DeMar DeRozan, an all-star. The thing that always stands out to me, and any of you guys can jump in on this, is his work ethic and his ability to constantly be a player that wants to be in the gym, that wants to get better.
It's interesting. I mean, DeMar's done a great job with his career overall, but I think when you talk about game to game getting better, recognition, understanding what it takes to be a leader, he's taken a whole new step in his career. And in a season when, Rudy Gay was brought in to be the guy, and you extract Rudy Gay from the situation and say, hey, DeMar, it's your team again, a lot of guys could have taken that the wrong way, and DeMar's been very good about it. He's been responsible. He hasn't been a guy who's just been out there trying to get his numbers. We've seen his assist totals go up. I just think his form of leadership is the kind that you want from a lead guy. I'd like to see him be a bit more vocal, a bit more animated, but his growth and development in a season like this was crucial for the Raptors in terms of where they are.
Yeah, and I still think there's more growth. I still think he can become a better defender. And I think as he realizes this role, I think he's going to be. But, if you remember when he came into Toronto, I don't think any of us should be surprised. I mean, he wasn't a good shooter. As a matter of fact, he was rather a poor shooter. But from day one, what did he do? He was in the gym, working, coaches saying, do this, do this. He did everything. So you shouldn't have there shouldn't be a surprise to see that work ethic. And it's just gotten, if anything, it hasn't waned at all. It's just gotten stronger.
You know, it's interesting, when his college coach, Tim Floyd, was here in town, I was chatting with him about DeMar, and he was raving about his work ethic. And he goes, this guy is a winner, and this guy's a worker. He's got a lot of areas of his game, as you mentioned, that needed a lot of improvement, but he will do the work. And that was the thing that really jumped out at me. And then watching him, it's really impressed me. And you know, the other thing is, pro teams put so much money now because everybody's drafting younger players into personnel development, player development. You know, having a shooting coach, a workout guy, the assistants spent an inordinate amount of time now working guys out. And quite frankly, there's a lot of players in this league that don't get better. And then, you know, there are certain guys that are the special ones, like a DeMar, like a Kevin Durant, just a few guys that really love the game and have that love affair with the sport. And I think great players, and very good players, they love getting in the gym and doing it. And I think DeMar is that guy that truly has that love affair with the sport that he plays.
A crowning moment in this franchise's history is going to be win number 48, a franchise record. Fans at the Air Canada Centre to their feet. And the Raptors have done it. A franchise record, 48 wins.
48 wins. You've had a lot of suffering and a lot of losses here. This is the most wins a Raptor team has ever had in its history.
Man, we got everybody on this team resilient and want to win, honestly. And you know, every time we step on this court, everybody willing to lay it out on the line. You know, that's what it's all about. Yo, we did it, bro. We did it. Way to hold me down. Way to hold me down.
When you look at the playoffs in the East and you look at it at the West, what other team? There is none. What other team outside of the Raptors have 2 second-year players? You have Terrence Ross, and now all of a sudden, you have a big in Jonas Valanciunas. And Jonas, we have seen the ups and the downs with him, but yet he's 21 years of age.
It's normal. That's normal.
Right.
Not only is it normal, but he's 21 coming from Europe. It's not like he grew up with the NBA game and the AAU mentality and the pickup.
Thank God.
Yeah, but at the same time, there is a component to that is an advantage, right? Because of the athleticism you're facing all the time. So he didn't have all that. So you're 21 years old. You're coming from Europe. You're adjusted to the game. How about a whole new lifestyle, a whole new culture? So when I look at that and I think, man, okay, he's 21 years old. Some people have been critical. Are you kidding me? And he's the starting center on a 3 seed. 3 seed. It's not like you're wasting away. You're putting up numbers on some crappy team. You're a starting center in a 3 seed.
You know, it's interesting when you look at his development. It's easy. You just say to yourself, how do I project him at 23, 25, 27? Oh my goodness. I mean, you look around the conference and you go, this kid's got a chance to be a really good player for 10 to 12 to 15 years in the league. I mean, he has a chance to really have a long career and be a very productive player. And the only thing that I look at with him right now, and it's not even basketball related, it's just maturity related, allowing himself to he gets down on himself, he's tough on himself, and allowing calls that don't go his way or a non-call, the body language. And I think that's the one thing I look at that I'm sure in time as he matures, he'll work through that. But in terms of the skill and all those things, I think he's right on the right path. And his game, his comfort level, back to the basket, face-up game, all those things, it's just going to get better and better every year.
When you go back to December 8th, I think when that move is made with sending Rudy Gay to Sacramento, before we get to the 4 players that came to Toronto, one of the players that certainly was elevated was Terrence Ross, because he goes into the starting lineup. Now you want to see something from your second-year player. And consistency is certainly something that you're starting to see more and more of with Terrence.
The reality is he's not looking over his shoulder anymore. And when you're not looking over your shoulder, you play with a calmness, you play with an understanding that, hey, if I make a mistake, as long as I'm trying hard, I'm not going to get the hook. And I think ultimately for Terrence Ross, the fact that he's been able to play through mistakes, Dwayne Casey's given him a longer leash, he's taken full advantage of it. And we talk about this. When guys are athletic offensively, there's no reason why you can't play defense. And he's been challenged to get after it on a defensive end. And I think he's answered the call. He's going to have those lapses. He's a second-year player who's going to struggle at times. But we know he can shoot the basketball. We know he's athletic. It's about putting that game together at such an early stage. And I think he's done a great job really solidifying this opportunity that was given, as you said, when Rudy Gay was extracted.
But what I think happened while Rudy Gay was here initially was that he wasn't given rope, which meant that, okay, you're going to come in for 2 minutes, you better defend or you're going to sit. You better do this or you're going to sit. And I think that was good for him. I really do, because I don't know if we'd have the same opportunity to see a defensive Terrence Ross, you know, who's an offensive-minded guy, comes into the NBA, can fly, do all these things, but he had to earn his time at the defensive end of the floor. And I think now when everything opened up and the offense can flourish a little bit, that defensive has been established. So I think you're getting a better Terrence Ross in the long run at both ends of the floor because of how he was brought into the play.
I agree with you.
We now move to, and I put the four together because they came over and they really solidified a bench for the Toronto Raptors in all different ways. You have Gravis Vasquez, Patrick Patterson, you have Chuck Hayes, and you have John Salmons. When you look at this group collectively, Jack, what have the four of them brought to the Toronto Raptors?
Maturity, professionalism, incredible basketball IQ, really good guys, selfless team players, winning players.
Is that it? That's it? That's all you got?
That's what they are. They're pros.
Yeah, if you can put all that on the table, you've done pretty good.
Yeah.
No question about that.
Yeah, and I've been impressed with the seamlessness to the transition with this group. I mean, anytime you make a trade, there's got to be that period of adjustment where guys have to figure out each other, role definition, you know, coaches trying to utilize the best combinations out there. It seemed pretty seamless with these guys, and I think it's because all of them had enough experience, understood the situation they were coming to, and their skill sets were definable.
And not just seeing, but think about this. How long do teams work for chemistry? You got teams that try to get chemistry like, you know, years putting into it. This was day one.
It's amazing.
I mean, you make a trade December 8th, and by December 12th, you're going like, are you kidding me? Like, it's like these guys have been together
and
forever.
And it's on court and off
That's
court.
exactly the
point.
chemistry.
Yeah.
The chemistry is absolutely phenomenal.
I was going to say, people talk about, you know, locker rooms, you don't have to like everybody. You just got to work together.
Yeah.
This locker room likes everybody, and I think the character of those four guys that came in might even supersede their playing on the floor because those guys were quality guys.
We're always trying to find chemistry, and a lot of times it's you don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
We all think we have the answer to it, but it's
And you only know
it's
it
an
when
inexact science.
Absolutely.
That's
And you
it.
sit around
Yeah.
and you sit there and you try to come up with all different ideas of bonding things and this, and we got to come together.
Yeah.
We got to do dinners on the
Gotta
road.
get
We
rid of this guy,
Yeah,
gotta
we got to
bring
put
it in.
this, and it did all come
It was
together.
magical. It really was. I mean, you sit there like, how often does that happen?
There is a high level of bench professionalism to this team. I mentioned bench professionalism because specifically it is the Chuck Hayeses and the John Salmons who have been there before, and the Steve Novaks and the Landry Fields. Because as we all know, we've been around teams before. If you're not getting the minutes that you think you need to get, if you're not getting the touches you think you need to get, things can head in a different direction. That has not been the case. Now, part of it is, hey, you're winning, and what can you say? But I think it actually speaks a lot to the character of the men.
You know, Steve Novak, Matt, you were there. We were sitting in Dallas, and Steve Novak said something to me that I've never heard a player say, college, pro. He said, I have every right to be angry and ticked off that I'm not playing, but I have no right to be unprofessional.
Right.
And then
That's a competitiveness.
And
in
I'm
you.
like,
You want a guy to be ticked off when he's not playing, because otherwise, why do you want him on your team?
He goes, I'm sure Coach Casey expects me to be angry and ticked off. He goes, but I will never be unprofessional. And I'm like, wow.
Okay, Novi! I see you!
Those guys on the back end of the team, they can destroy morale and they can kill you. And
it takes one, because one will get another one.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you have this cesspool happening on your bench, and this has been. It
was an amazing statement.
It was, and it really is. But I think you could have 3 or 4 guys that would say the same thing, and that's what's been special about that bench group.
Incredible, man. You know, it's been a blessing. 82 games. This is the end of my 4th year in the NBA, the regular season. But we're fortunate enough to be in the playoff and get an opportunity to compete against the best. So we're really excited. You know, this season has been outstanding for our team, for our city, and so we got to finish this with a great run in the playoff.
There's been at least speculation that other teams may be turning it on or off at this point in the last few games, trying to jockey themselves, whether it be for you or for a more favorable matchup against another team, whatever. What's your feeling on that as a coach or as what's going around?
I've been in both situations in Seattle and Dallas, and every time I've seen teams to try to turn it off and wish for someone, you get what you wish for. And that team is much better than what you thought you were going to get. So you got to be careful with that.
It really gives us motivation, piss the heck out of us, you know, because we're not going to be easy. We're not going to be like an easy opponent. So, you know, we remain humble. We don't want no attention. We want to just keep working, keep getting better. We have a family here. We're not going to let anybody break our family. So we just got to, you know, be humble. And whoever we play, we're going to come out here and go whatever and compete in the highest level.
Is there any sort of disrespect in that, though, knowing that if that was actually what they were thinking, play you guys instead of Chicago?
We done heard all the disrespect slurs or whatever you want to call it, man. You just got to deal with it, man. We don't feed too much into it. If they want to play us, hey, good for us, you know. But at the end of the day, we all in the playoffs, and, you know, and we fighting all for the same thing, so you can't run from nobody.
We know this on this Wednesday. Indiana owns a top spot in the East. Miami, the 2nd spot in the East. And secured in the 8th spot, Atlanta. 3 through 7, all in play right now. There's so many different scenarios. It would take us almost an entire broadcast to get through them, Leo. But you know this with the Toronto Raptors. You win tonight, you have that 3rd spot.
Well, there's been a lot of talk about teams jockeying, testing it, and as my broadcast partner pointed out earlier, you do not want to play with the basketball gods, and Dwayne Casey is not going to test that.
No question. He has respect for the game. DeColo does not get a shot off. And the Toronto Raptors lose tonight, but they own the 3rd spot in the Eastern Conference, and they will face the Brooklyn Nets this weekend.
Regular season, great regular season, fellas. Great regular season. That shit's over. We in a whole new season. Everybody got to be mentally ready, physically ready. Every game from tonight on, focus. It's us in this room. Lock in. Every day, man. We got to be ready to go. No matter where we play in Brooklyn. So we got to focus in. Watch our film, study, get our rest, eat right. It's real. I mean, Chuck can tell you, John will tell you, you know, guys that play in the playoffs, it's real. It's time to rock. So everybody, you know, tonight, you know, let's be our last night, you know, it's over. Starting tomorrow is focus, man. We try to do something big here, y'all. Ain't just making it for us. We got to go out here and play every single night, focus in. It ain't going to just be on the court. It's everything around it, man. It's all about us in here.
It's great. Every game is different, man. Every game is a one-game season, so it don't stop, man. It's going to be a grind. You don't get that best.
All right. Tonight we had 24 turnovers. 24. All right, so that alone
we have to turn around before Saturday, whenever we play. All right, so now, like Kyle said, the new season, great regular season. We got to flip the switch. All right, total focus. But again, we don't want to overhype it. All right, go out and do what we did to get where we are. First, defense. All right. Second, sharing the ball. Third, playing hard on every possession. No possessions off. All right, so let's lock in. All right, we'll get out of here. We'll get the buses up here. But again, I guess we got Brooklyn. Okay? All right, so let's get our focus in. We'll have stuff for you tomorrow. Tomorrow at noon. Tomorrow at noon.
Let's go.
Here we go.
Together on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Together.
We had a great season, but now it's time to put, all that behind us and, get ready for the next.
How do you go up against all the experience that they have on that team compared to you guys, and the age difference, about 8 years?
I mean, we just got to go out there and play. Honestly, go out there, study the film, study them, get ready for them. We know we can beat them. We beat them twice this year, and they beat them once without me playing. So like I said, it should be fun. We understand they're an experienced team, and we got our advantages, disadvantages. It could go both ways, but at the same time, we all excited.
It was dope. It was definitely a family atmosphere, family oriented, and it felt great just to get everybody, staff, together to have a dinner to get ready for these playoffs. So it felt good. Very hard play. Like I said, we definitely come to work hard, and I feel like we've learned from our mistakes. The little mistakes we've made, we've cleaned up. And I definitely think we're just going to go out there and just win. As simple as that. I'm gonna just go out there and say it, man. We're going to win. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm excited to see. I know back in Detroit days, that arena was rocking, man, with the fire and everybody, man. You could just feel the intensity, and your blood rising and your skin tingling and all that, man. So I'm excited to see how the atmosphere is. They even said outside, there's going to be thousands of people, watching the game on the screen, the big screen outside. So I'm excited just to see how it is.
This, to me, right now, is not a team that feels like, oh, if we get in, we're happy to be there.
No.
This is a team that has the bravado of saying, hey, we're going to make some noise.
We're good enough. We're here for a reason.
And that's a difference. I mean, you can get into the playoffs and just be happy to be there. This team believes they can win.
And then when you really look at the big picture and you think about the franchise and you think about this city, and we all have the opportunity to travel around, there is a love affair between the fans and this team. And quite frankly, I think it's greater than what anybody south of here realizes. And when you think about the passionate fan base that the Raptors have, and the last time that they were in the postseason was 2008. And yet, still in all, they're there every single night. And it's truly remarkable. And if you make it here once again, where does it go from here? I mean, the sky's the limit.
It's interesting. You look at a guy like Tim Lewicki, who they brought in here at MLSE. That guy plays for keeps. And I think that they're going to use this opportunity and build from there. It's not going to be one of those things where it's going to be a flash in the pan. It's going to be one of those things where this is just the beginning. Not playing for second place. I mean, and I really believe that there is a mentality now on the basketball side of this building that hasn't existed from way up, and that's ownership and the top leadership. That it's about winning. It's about winning games, and I think that permeates throughout. I think every player knows that. I think every coach knows that. Every staff member. Anywhere you go, everyone knows it's all business is about winning games.
I think there's an insatiable appetite for basketball in this country.
Yeah.
And some factions don't want to acknowledge it, but the reality is it's happening. We look at college basketball and the amount of Canadians that are doing well at different programs. And I think, you know, it all started with the Raptors. You think about these guys in college now who are getting to the NBA, they watched this Raptor team when it was just birthed.
They grew up with it.
They grew up with it. And I really think that it's kind of full circle. You know, this team gets to the playoffs, they make some noise. This city jumps on it. We all were there in 2008. It was bananas. This city is going to support a team, as usual, that works hard, grinds it out, and gets the wins. This is that type of team. And this is a crucial time, I think, in basketball in this country to fall behind the Raptors, because there's a lot of momentum with basketball from the grassroots right up to the professional level.
The music is turned up, the lights are on, and for the Nets and the Raptors, fellas, it's time to dance. Everybody's excited, and that's one of the things maybe that we should put into perspective. You can be overexcited. You know, we talked to Chris Bosh a couple weeks ago in Miami, and he said the one thing that piece of advice he had for some of the young Raptors is don't get overhyped. He said, I got 2 fouls in the first 3 minutes. I waited for that long and I had to sit down, Sherm.
Well, you're right. And I think for the Raptors, they talk about the experience or the lack thereof for this team. The reality is you've earned your position here. So you've got to play like you deserve to be here. And how do you do that? You approach this game with an understanding of everything that's involved. And yes, there's an experience factor, but how do you overcome that? You play hard, you execute the game plan, you commit defensively, and you don't allow the naysayers on the outside claiming your inexperience is a problem to take advantage of you throughout the game.
You know, it's a long series, and you know that first 12 to 16 minutes of the game where your starters play and then your second unit guys get their first chance to play. And once you get those butterflies out, then it's just hoops, and then it's strategic, and it's just executing your game plan after that. But you're right, you make a great point about Chris Bosh picking up those 2 quick fouls, and that can really change things dramatically if one of your better players does that. So I think if you just kind of ease your way into it and at the same time set the tone, I think you'll be fine.
The biggest sports city around, and you can tell there's tons of people outside. It's so exciting.
Fans are going crazy. We're so proud of the Raptors, and we can't wait to watch them dominate. Woo!
It's great. 6 years, and we're back. Love it. Can't wait. Today's gonna be crazy.
The hype for this game is unreal, and the excitement and the energy level is, I'm not even ready for it. I'm not even prepared, so it's gonna be cool.
This is epic. We've been waiting a really long time. We've suffered through a lot. No one expected us to be here. We're really excited.
Now we're here, and it's amazing, and I can't wait to see what it's gonna be like inside of there. It's already getting crazy, so.
We're gonna take it. You see how big the line is outside? We're gonna make this place crazy.
An hour and a half.
It's gonna be insanity in there.
It's gonna be nice. Brooklyn got nothing.
We are loud, and people in the world don't know how loud we can get, and how hard it can be for the other team once we're that loud.
Let's make some noise.
Make some noise. Make it as difficult and loud for the Nets as possible.
Let's go Raps.
Show the rest of the NBA what it's all about up here, right? Make people want to come here.
We're the sixth man. We love the new northern jerseys. We're going to be really loud. Make sure that the Nets cannot get an offensive set in place.
Yeah, I think we're just generally going to go crazy in the stands. We're all going to be in white. It's going to be sick. Can't wait.
You and I have been lucky to be around this franchise since day one. I cannot recall excitement like this.
There have been some exciting times, but trust me, nothing like this. This city has taken on the Raptors.
It's special, and more importantly, this is a special team. I think people have been captivated by the spirit of this team, how hard they play, how unselfish they are, and they represent all that's good, meaning they are selfless. They play for the name on the front of the shirt, and people admire that and respect that.
Come on, hey, let's go.
Something we've been waiting to say for a long time. Welcome to the NBA playoffs.
You're gonna love it. And this should be a wonderful series against two outstanding teams. Forget about 6th seed, 3rd seed, whatever. These teams are oh so close right there in terms of the matchups. And I think a lot of it's gonna come down to the little details and the preparation that go into a long series.
What a tremendous scene here on this glorious Saturday in Toronto as we get set for Game 1 of the best-of-7 series between the 3rd-seeded Toronto Raptors and the 6th seed from Brooklyn, the Nets. All 5 Raptors in the starting lineup earned their first career playoff start here today. The starting 5 for Brooklyn have a combined 381 playoff starts. Amir Johnson the other day tweeted, "Who says we don't have experience? Experience is what you get when you didn't get what you wanted." And after 5 years in a Raptors uniform, Amir Johnson and DeMar DeRozan have what they wanted. And so do you, as Raptor fans. It's Game 1 between the Raptors and the Nets.
So this crowd is rocking. And now, time for a little hoops, Matty D.
Ken Mallard, Brian Forte, Ed Malloy are 3 officials. And we're underway. The 2014 NBA playoffs starts here in Toronto. Felt coming into this game. Jonas with a slam dunk. Lowry hooks up Jonas Valanciunas. Valanciunas already with 8 rebounds. Lowry tacking right to the rim.
Little pit bull. He keeps coming at you.
The steal. Here's Lowry driving. Spin move. Bank shot. Got it. Lowry. 7-point game. DeRozan, DeMar. Here's Johnson rolling. Lowry clocked down. T-Ross squares it up. Splash from Ajax. 55-53. 6:40 to go. Johnson in the lane with a runner. Tough shot. On rebound, here's Vasquez with it. Quickly into the front court. Lowry triggers a 3. Got it! Lowry connects from deep at the end of the third, 67-62. Game 1 of a best-of-7. Raptors won the Atlantic. Brooklyn finished second. Patterson from the corner drills it. It's a 2-point game.
ISO Joe Johnson double meets him, long rebound. Here's Lowry, has Patterson driving, finds Patterson, slams it home. Out on the run, Lowry thought about the three ball, gives it to Van. Yes, he did, with a little bit of shake with the shoulders. Patterson rotates back. Joe Johnson quiets the crowd. It is now 79-76. 3 minutes left. Pierce, the three, a big bucket there. The players know from the announcement by the public address announcer here. As Paul Pierce connects. Paul Pierce and KG down the stretch. Jason Kidd, 19 years as a player. First year as a head coach, knows where to go.
Again, give the Nets a lot of credit. They did a beautiful job today. Road team defensively, and again, the Nets road team, their offense, they were better. They were sharper. They got better shots. And Terrence Ross, Amir Johnson, DeMar DeRozan, 3 of your 5 starters, have got to play a lot better.
Game 1 is in the books, 94-87. A hard-fought, intense battle. And the Brooklyn Nets come to Toronto, and they take Game 1, and thus they take away home court for the Toronto Raptors.
Man, we know, all right? This is what we didn't play well. All right, 19 turnovers, all right? Ball got stuck a little bit, and we still put ourselves in position to win. Every game is going to have a different theme. Every game is going to have a different storyline, a different way to beat them. We know we can beat them. But number one, taking care of the ball. Taking care of the ball, all right, moving the ball, make sure we set screen in our spacing. All right, that was the number one thing. And then defensively, you were in the right place, guys hit tough shot. All right, it's first time for some of you a playoff game. It's the first time. And it was we expected that, but again, we know in game 2 we got to take the turnovers down, take care of the ball. All right, and you still put yourself in a position to win. All right, so let's get some rest tonight. We'll come in tomorrow. We're not going to do a lot physically tomorrow. We're going to watch what happened today, correct it, all right, and then come back in on Monday for practice. Okay. All right. Good job. A lot of basketball to go.
Together on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Together.